What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. As always, and per usual, I'm the host of the show, the Dude 250. They call me Nick Geedy, Nick Juilliard, Nick Danger, the dangerous one, hanging out with my man, the foundation of the DUDEPOOL Nation. The video game Schwarzenegger, the Taylor Sager, the aliens exist.
Did you find your hat in Uncharted 2?
Maybe.
Just wondering. You look like a Sherpa.
Fuck yeah, let's climb the mountain, bitch.
So, on that note, what are we talking about today?
This week we got a little bit of a topic go for you. A few weeks back.
Me?
Well, for them. A few weeks
all
back.
Them?
Achilles,
All
he's being
dems?
very intrusive right now. Come say hello to the camera, Achilles.
Let's just intrude a little more.
Let's just get right up in here.
Oh my.
Achilles, what are we talking about today? Well, today, guys, we're talking about that new God of War revealed at E3. Yes.
I feel like he wants anything but to be right there right
Achilles wants to be all up in the show all the time.
now. All the time.
Big fat mascot. Today we're talking about God of War.
God of War!
Yeah, the new reveal that came out on E3. It's about high time we talked about that.
High noon.
So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, to start with, I'm really excited about it, for one thing. I actually bought the God of War 3, kind of based on and off of that, because I want to play through it before I play through that.
The remaster on PS4.
Yeah, the remaster on PS4. Yes, it was $7 on that mighty PS4 sale.
$7.
But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that game. I haven't played a game like that in a while. I played through the first two, and then I played through like Dante's Inferno, and like I was just really kind of worn out on that whole style of game. So it's kind of fun to go back to it now. I'm enjoying it a little more than I thought I would. But yeah, I'm really excited about the new one. It's really cool to see that they clearly like sat in a room, I guess, and like boiled it down really to what. Like, they must have really thought about what God of War is, like, what it actually is, like, at the base elements of God of War, like, what...
Well, I think after the middling sales of God of War Ascension came out, and people obviously vocalized the amount of fatigue they had on the gameplay structure.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't... I don't know, story-wise, it wasn't as hot as the other ones were. It was kind of like, all right. It seemed like a cash-out, because it's like, okay, that story was clearly done after 3. So they had to do...
The prequel?
The prequel, I suppose.
Like, they really kind of had his origin and everything in there already.
Yeah, they really didn't have to do it. They just wanted to make another God of War game, obviously, because there was only one on the PS3, so they did another one, which was fair. And it was a fun game. It was just kind of, I don't know, walked the middle ground a lot in terms of quality compared to God of War 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. It clearly wasn't a numbered title.
Right.
With this one, yeah, like you said, they clearly sat down. They're like, "Hey, what worked and what didn't? What did people gripe about?"
Yeah.
And
what do you have to keep? Like, what do you need to keep in this game to make it God of War?
Yeah.
And then what can you like build? I guess completely new around it.
Exactly. Like they clearly were like, "Hey, what is Kratos? Kratos is an angry motherfucker. Let's keep him angry, but maybe let's make him a bit more humanized, more relatable, I suppose." Because like in the new trailer that we saw. He's a bit more grounded. You can see he's a mad motherfucker talking to his son, but he pulls back his emotions a lot with like deep breaths, and shit like that. And you're like,
when he gets shot with the arrow,
yeah, and he's like still makes his son go and hunt the deer after he fights those big monsters and shit. And it evoked a lot more of a game like Tomb Raider. The new ones?
Yeah, I think it's
way more over the shoulder rather than above isometric kind of a view and panned out angles. I don't know how the whole game will play out. There might be parts where the camera pulls back and gets very cinematic like we're used to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
I'm sure it'll be kind of like Uncharted in that sort of respect, where it'll just kind of when you get to those huge sort of areas, kind of like in the end where it showed. It panned right back and it showed you that whole forest and everything, and showed you like everything as far as the eye could see in the fucking dragon.
Right. It looks a bit more open world than the other ones. The other ones were super linear, obviously.
It's definitely gonna be open world.
But this one looks like when he walks into that new area and it says like, "Oh, discovered new area" or whatever. That really evoked a lot of Tomb Raider to me, which says that it's probably gonna have like one of those hub worlds that's connected to a bunch of other
I think so.
places.
I think it's either going to be like that, or it's going to be like full on sort of Far Cry style, where it's a full map, and you have to kind of work your way across it.
Maybe.
And sort
Maybe.
of conquer areas to open up other areas.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think is kind of the idea.
Could do.
Is going to be the idea. I think you're going to start in one side and kind of.
I think it'll be way
you
more
can just
directed
go
like
anywhere.
a Tomb Raider game than a Far Cry. Far Cry is literally go wherever the fuck you want, and
Yeah, do
tackle it
whatever
as
you
you
want,
want. But I think this one's going to be a bit more directed. Like
Yeah.
now you have to tackle that area,
Yeah. Focus you
and
in a
then you
certain
come back,
direction.
and then you're going to have to go into that area, and then
Yeah.
maybe you have to backtrack and go to that area because you've unlocked
The
new
items,
weapons or
yeah.
items, and
Yeah.
you can unlock another
Yeah.
area in there.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah, that was always a really big thing in the
Right.
God of Wars. So I feel like you would keep that in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be kind of more like a Metroid style, which would be
Yeah.
super cool. I would like that. Yeah. I don't know if you're gonna have like a castle or like a hub world or whatever, like you're saying, like an area that maybe that you're building
Like
up.
a base of operation. I don't
Yeah.
think you're going to be building anything up
No.
because I don't think so. I also don't know how many times you'll go back to that hub thing because I
Yeah.
bet you at some point your kid either gets kidnapped or killed.
Or killnapped.
Yeah, or kidnapped and then killed, exactly. Something like that has to happen. There's got to be that tragedy.
Maybe he kidnaps himself. Maybe he's like.
Or
Kratos
maybe
is a dick
maybe
and he
the
just
start of
runs
the
away.
game is like the baby was just born and the mother was killed or whatever, and that's where the pain comes from. But
The pain.
he's got to have some kind of revenge story. I think that
Usually,
is
yeah. There's something behind it, right? He's
That's-
gotta
that's
have
like-
a reason to take out the gods.
that is
or-
the mythos of Kratos, right? Like he's on a mission of revenge.
Yeah, that's true.
At least for all those 4 other games.
Yep.
Calliope.
Calliope. Yep.
But yeah,
He's certainly pissed off, that's for sure. He's definitely a lot less in this one. Maybe it's before the badness happens.
That's
you're
what
right.
I'm
Maybe-
thinking. That's
maybe
what I'm thinking.
The kid dying or getting kidnapped or whatever is kind of
the straw that broke the Kratos back.
yeah, what spurs the Viking rage
Yeah.
that dwells inside him.
And it looks like because he's got powers. He like pulls those lightning bolts out things.
Whoa,
That was very Zeus-like. So it's like he's already it's almost like he's already a god or a demigod, or something along those lines. Or whether it's just a world filled with magic. I don't know.
It seems like it's certainly not after those games because I mean those.
No, this is a
Those gods are much
totally
later, I
rebooted
guess.
thing. It's just not gonna. I don't think it's gonna
Or
tie
not.
into the old games at all.
But
At all. The fact that it's not even a number, they're just calling it God of War.
yeah, and it seems like it's like the beginning of all of that religion.
Is that right? They are just calling it God of
Yeah,
War,
it's just
right?
God of War, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's like the beginning of that religion. By the looks of where it is,
Like the whole
there's-
Viking thing.
There's
right?
no
The
there's no
Norse
towns
mythology.
or anything even that you see in that little thing. There's no people worshiping any of these gods yet. You don't really see any of the other gods except for I guess that lake that you see in the video is actually
Right.
the giant snake that encircles the world.
It looks more
in
mature
Norse mythology.
in terms of like in the old ones. He was. You'd have those fucking weird parts in every one where you get to have a threesome with multiple bitches and
Yeah.
slam the X button to
Yeah.
fuck them harder.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll see that kind of shit in this
No.
one. It looks more like grounded and mature than that,
yeah.
right?
I would actually kind of like Doom. I would say that the other God of Wars are metal. You know. Like
Sure, like I would even like go on like it was a bit more comic booky.
Yep. Yeah.
Whereas this one's more, it seems more
very
grounded,
fantastical,
more like a DC movie, DC Comics movie or
Yeah.
something, right? Like compared
but
to
one
Marvel.
of the good ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which are
like
few and far between.
yeah, they jumped from like Iron Man 1 to like Batman
Dark Knight.
Yeah, totally something like that, like a fun like oh he's a badass kind of,
Yeah.
and he's just fucking bitches and all that shit, and he's killing everything in his path too.
Yeah. Super serious.
Almost having a bit of an emotional impact because before I knew he was on a revenge tale, but I never felt sorry for the guy because he was so goddamn merciless. With this one,
Yep.
you saw way more of like it did the Last of Us thing where you get to spend time with the kid and try to train
Yeah.
him and help him
Yeah.
and see that relationship
Yeah,
build,
build the
and then
relationship.
to the point where when that kid gets taken away, if that happens, I mean, probably whenever that thing happens that drives a wedge between them, or maybe you're actually just trying to keep the kid safe for the whole thing, but it drives like that fucking closeness that you have with that character. So that if something bad does happen, even if the kid stubs his toe, you'll probably feel that more than Calliope got kidnapped or killed
Yep.
from the other ones, right? I think they took a lesson from Naughty Dog a little bit in that respect, where you're trying to take care of a person, and it creates that kind of an energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Last of Us did it really well. Like, yeah, you
Oh, yeah.
definitely wanted to take care of Ellie. It was nice that you actually didn't have to. That she didn't.
Yeah. It wasn't like
like
Ico.
die. Yeah, she didn't die in situations, which was really annoying. But yeah, no, I like that part of Last of Us. I think it'd be cool to do that in this game. It seems like he has a little bit of an attacking thing with the arrow there. They were kind of getting like electrified, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a jump forward a year and he's a war machine and you get to play as the kid even a little bit, but I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Like,
but,
what if they flipped it right on its head and we have no idea and Kratos is the one in trouble and you take over the kid for a certain part and they got to save him?
Yep,
That'd be fucking cool.
That could definitely happen. But I mean, that's the other thing you have to think about is like, is Kratos is Kratos God of War? Like, you know, like if you're not playing as Kratos, is it still God of War? You know?
Yeah. Sure, like Kratos' son could be a God of War, right? But I don't know. I'm glad that they're taking it in different directions, and like, no, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think the coolest part about what we saw in that trailer was there's a lot of people that just didn't have any affinity for that franchise at all, and I could see why. It's a button masher, and if you're not into that kind of an action game, then whatever. But and you could totally see him as just like a meathead, fucking I'm gonna murder everything kind of a character, and I think that the trailer and gameplay demo that they showed at E3 pulled a lot of people into the franchise that weren't even interested before, right?
Yep.
And I think that's what you want out of a reboot.
Yep.
Essentially, I think it's going to be bigger than anything we've seen before from that franchise.
It's going to be way different for
Yeah.
sure. I think
In like the best way positive.
Yeah, it's going to be a very positive change. I think they're going to sell, it's going to be a hit for sure. I think the soundtrack alone is going to make it really well received.
And it's Santa Monica doing it, right? Santa Monica Studios?
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yep.
That's cool.
So everybody, I think a lot of the people that were on the old ones are still doing it.
Yeah.
They're still going strong. But I mean,
They've
nice
changed hands a few times in terms of creative directors and shit like that.
It's nice to see that they're allowed to change it up. I think they're not stuck doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's always nice to see, especially in a world of constant reboots and shit. They just didn't just jump back into like, oh, we're just gonna start from the beginning again and tell that story again with better graphics and change a couple little things. But they're just totally redoing it and with new gods and new everything. And
it looks like combos are still going to be a big thing in there. I don't know if it's going to be changed. I mean, it's going to have to be a bit different because the camera angles are going to be different and the weapons different. I don't even know if air combos are going to be a thing, which is like a pretty big staple in those games. It was kind of like one of the only games to do air combos.
Yeah, well, you got
and
totally
Dante's
different
Inferno.
weapons now too, right?
Yeah, it's going to be obviously Norse-based weapons, axes, and I guess you might get short swords.
You'll
at
get
some
swords,
point.
but you'll get those godly weapons
Shields.
too. Fucking, you remember he's got those lion fist things that he used to
Hercules,
punch people.
Lion's Fist,
Those are fucking cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, he's gonna get crazy shit like that. And I think
Yeah.
you do get a bow. I think off the beginning, like a crazy bow of some sort.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
will.
really know. But I
We're
don't know.
also assuming that was the beginning. I think that was probably after the prologue.
Oh yeah, there's
or-
that wasn't like the
Yeah.
first thing. I mean, there's got to be something that goes on before.
I
that.
think you'll see what happened to the wife in the very, very beginning, because there's no talk of a mother or anything in that. And the kid came from somewhere. It didn't crawl out of his penis.
I think it did, but in a very like fast, explosive ejaculatory motion. Fast, explosive ejaculatory motion.
Shit.
Like most people, honestly.
Do you think he calls his dick Mount Olympus?
Probably not anymore. It's probably
Do you think he
Valhalla.
calls it Ragnarok?
Yep. The dick that swallowed the world.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly what it is.
It's probably exactly what it is.
That's what I would call my dick
Right?
if I was him.
I'm pretty stoked to see. I hope it's not as it doesn't look as button mashy as it used to.
No.
Like I
don't know if
I don't
hunting
know.
is going to be like a thing. Like I wonder if you're going to actually have to craft and stuff like that, or like do stuff like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put shit like that in the game, but I don't know. I just don't know.
It seems like you like I bet you the prelude, like the stuff before what we saw in that trailer
Right,
is
prologue.
you kind of escaping from some other land, I think, and coming to that area. I feel like you're going to be like aliens in that area. I don't feel like that's going to be like your home.
Maybe, unless they do try to tie it in with the old Kratos, and it's like his soul came back, and
Yeah.
into this body, or I don't know.
I
don't
doubt
know.
it.
Who knows?
I
Who
doubt
fucking dude? Creative writing. You know what I mean? They come up with anything.
I'd just be like, why? Like just don't even. Just give me like. I think at this point they see the hype just showing off that trailer. They don't even have to tie it into the rest of the games. They can just be like, yeah, just.
You don't
start
think
it off
a
fresh.
neat little blurb right at the beginning? Just a little blurb. Just a little one where it's like, oh, who's one of the bad gods in Norse mythology? I don't know any. But say there's this evil god.
I don't know. Let's say Loki.
Okay, let's say Loki, who wants to take over the throne, is like, who can I bring? What kind of magic can I use to bring? Oh, this guy destroyed all of the fucking Greek gods. All right, well let's boom, he's back.
I feel like.
And I'm gonna trick his ass, and then I'm gonna kill his wife and make him angry again.
I feel like it's not gonna be like the old God of War games where he's coming into like an established set of gods. I think it's gonna be like the generation of all these gods, and you're kind of like getting in there right at the generation of everything of their world. Essentially, the gods are like shaping their Norse world, and you're just kind of like walking into it by accident. Essentially,
It looks like he's a demigod at the start of it.
he's certainly more. He's not a human. I don't think. Like he can't be. I
Right.
don't think humans are around in that era. Like yeah, I don't think it. I think it's all just gods and shit.
No, there are
Yeah.
humans in that era. There's Vikings and shit.
No, but I mean, I think that this like where he's at right now, it's all just like it's like gods like gonna be fighting each other like gods.
Demons and monsters
Yeah,
and all that
shit
kind of
like
shit.
that. All the Norse people having their endless battles, essentially,
Yeah.
like shaping the world in their own ways and shit like that. And then there's gonna be like, there's gonna be like maybe small groups of humans setting
Well, I
up
mean,
and
he's
like
just-
worshiping people, but I feel like it's
There's
gonna
no
be
way
very very early.
He's
on.
got to become a god of war or the god of war, obviously.
Yeah.
He has to. The whole title is called God of War.
Definitely got to be some sort of angry god. But I mean, they're all gods of war essentially. But in Norse mythology, they're all about war. Like
Yeah, okay, but like the god of war amongst
I don't
all
know,
of them.
because he's got to fight Odin, or something. Like he can't. I don't know. I don't think he's just gonna be Odin,
No, I don't either.
right? So like, there's got to be Odin and his posse of motherfuckers that he's
Yep.
gonna have to be taken out
Yeah.
or something. Or like I don't know. Or maybe he's gonna be like tagging up with them, like killing monsters. Because there's like frost giants and like that giant ass fucking serpent
Yep.
and like Ragnarok and shit. Like you might be like fending off like the end of the world with like the Norse gods.
You think he's
know?
fighting with them?
Yeah,
That'd be
you know,
interesting
because
too.
like the Norse mythology is all about them like fighting these amazing battles or whatever, and like if you die heroically, you go to Valhalla and you like go to their halls and you drink with them and fight with them and shit like that in these
Right.
like amazing god battles. So I think that's where he's at. He's not essentially in like a realm with humans. He's essentially in
Right.
Valhalla, this realm of the gods. and
That's
they're all
fair. I
fighting
wouldn't.
each
I wouldn't
other.
be surprised if you are fighting with them a bit, but then they turn on you and you go on a big
Oh,
revenge
yeah.
mission.
Yeah,
But
they're gonna
for
do-
whatever reason, I'm set in
know.
my ways that it's got to be some type of a revenge mission because that is a staple of that franchise. It really
Yeah.
fucking is, and
I
that's
mean, you
kind of
can-
who Kratos is and why he's so fucking angry. You got to have a hook as to why this
Yeah.
this fucking guy's so goddamn mad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just not relatable.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going through great lengths to make him more relatable than he used to be.
Yeah.
So I think that demo gives you a glimpse at the kid, and I think they're gonna build that relationship for the first few hours, and then they're gonna take it away from you, and you're gonna want to get it back.
Yeah.
I think that's the hook.
Or he's just gonna die, yeah, and you're gonna just be angry and
Oh well, yeah. Even if he does die, like your kid died in the old ones, but the whole thing was you're trying to get him back, right?
you're trying to find the person who killed them essentially and kill them.
Yeah, but then there's
You
always
find out why they died, and then you have to.
yeah. Then there's always
people,
those
yeah.
scenes where he's like going through like I can't even remember whether he's a flashback scene or whatever, but he's like running into his daughter's arms,
Always,
and
yeah.
Calliope and all that shit.
Calliope!
There's always, I think there was like the points where they're like, we can bring her back, and shit like that. There was a hope there, I think. In those
Yeah,
old
or
ones.
something. I remember there's the Sisters of Fate or something, are a big deal
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
second
yeah.
one or something. And Ares, I think, is supposed to be the main reason why they died in the first one.
Because he's a cunt.
And you kill them, and then you become the god of war. And then
Yep.
I think the Sisters of Fate are going to kill Kratos or something, so you have to kill them.
Yep.
And then you kill Zeus because he's the actual person who killed your
Yeah.
family. And
He's
he's
a
your
dick.
dad. And he's your dad.
He's a dick.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I think this new game is gonna like create its own. I think it's gonna start fresh. I think you're gonna like maybe you're gonna lose your son or something like that. But I think they're gonna build that that sort of vengeance story over multiple games. Like I don't.
I don't think you'll see it all in the first one.
I don't think you'll see it all here. Yeah, I think by the end of it you'll be
also,
angry
who
at
knows?
a motherfucker.
Who fucking knows? Because they only did have the one God of War game on the PS3 that was a numbered one, right? And and all those games were like.
But that was like the end
experience.
of the story, though, right?
God of War 3, yeah. They had 2 games on PS2
2 to build that story up before that, so it's like.
Yep.
I think they'll do it.
But I think it's a different. I think they'll do 3, but I do think that you will end up saving your kid in this one. Actually, I'm just spitballing ideas. I just think it will be a complete story on its own.
I don't. I think it's going to lead up into the next one. I think the bad guy's going to get away.
I think it'll be a complete story in its own, in the same way that The Last of Us was, but it was still open for other ways to finish. But it was still a complete story from start to finish. You saw that whole Ellie thing through.
That is true, yeah.
Right? I think that's how... But they'll leave it open or something will happen. There'll be a cliffhanger or some shit like that.
Mad Max
but you'll get a complete story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, whereas the first God of War wasn't.
Nope.
Right? Like, it was clearly, we're halfway through this.
You killed Ares, right?
Yes, you killed Ares, but then you found out...
God.
But then you found out...
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Who actually did it and shit like that, and then you were, like, still on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll get a complete story of losing the kid and then saving the kid. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's going to happen. They drove that kid point home in that demo, and I think that was very important.
Yeah, that's for sure, yeah. But that's why,
purely speculation at this point.
The whole series, but
either way,
he's going to have to grow
I'm
up
fucking excited for it. I can't wait to get my hands on it when it does come out, whenever the hell that happens. Get ready for delays and all that shit, but... Hopefully not, but you never know.
It'll be next year, Bill.
I'm sure it's been in development for quite a while, too. Santa Monica hasn't put anything out in a minute. So, yeah. I mean, DUDEPOOL approved. I'm stoked on it. He's stoked on it. He wasn't even... Like, it got you rejuvenated for the franchise, right?
Totally.
You're like, oh, maybe I'll go back and play that then.
If I didn't see that trailer, I would not have gone back to play
right?
War, that's for sure.
And since you have you been enjoying 3?
Yep. I mean, I enjoyed the other ones. I just felt played out of it, and I didn't think I would ever enjoy it.
And it's funny because, like, I brought it up last week, and you're like, wait, God of War 1 and 2 were PS2 games?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that just shows you how kind of repetitive that franchise is, because the first 2 were on PS2, and then they had God of War 3, like, halfway through the PS3's life cycle, or even a bit longer than that. Mm-hmm. Right? And you were still played out by it.
But I also played Dante's Inferno, which was on PS3.
And that was a very repetitive, played-out game.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
I really liked the little anime portions of it, though.
Sure, yeah, they were cool.
And the story is great. I mean, the actual story is a really cool story. That's why I played it.
Totally ripped-off story. That's why it was so good.
Well, it's...
But that being said, we are looking forward to God of War, the reboot. We liked what we saw at E3. DUDEPOOL approved, as I said. Up top, big dog. Boom! If you liked that episode, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/officialdudepoolgaming and at Twitter at DudepoolGaming.
DudepoolGaming.
From us to you, that's Taylor. I'm Nick, and we'll catch you next time. Babies!
See you guys.